Hi, Ashley here with HeartHookHome.com, and today we are going to learn how to crochet the Alpine stitch. This is a beautiful stitch that gives great texture to crocheted pieces. It's great for blankets such as this. In this example here, we've used two different colors, one to really define the Alpine portion and then one for the single crochet rows that separate your Alpine rows. So it's easier than it looks. Let's grab our hooks and yarn and get started. When you're starting your Alpine stitch piece, you want to start with an odd number of stitches. So we are going to start with an odd number here. This is 19 stitches. For your very first row of Alpine stitch, you're going to double crochet in that whole entire row. So I'm going to find the third chain from where I began, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to double crochet into the back bar of that third chain. So I'm going to wrap it and double crochet right into this third stitch. I like to go under the back bar. You can do however you like, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to double crochet along this entire row. This is going to be our very first row before we actually start doing the Alpine stitch itself. It's a foundation. Now that you have your entire first row, which is your foundation row, you're going to start another row, and that row is going to be a single crochet row. So you're going to chain 1 and turn, and now you're going to single crochet in each stitch across. Now we're going to actually start the Alpine stitch itself. So that always starts in the third row. To start your Alpine stitch, you're going to chain 2 and turn. You're going to place a double crochet in this very first stitch. Now you're going to place a treble crochet, a front post treble crochet around this stitch, so the one directly below. So here's our first stitch right here. Now we're going to place a front post treble crochet around this double crochet from 2 rows prior. So wrap your yarn over twice and insert your hook from front to back around this post of that double crochet. Okay, so this is your single crochet row. Don't go into that one. Go around that double crochet from the row 2 down. Okay, now you're going to pull up the loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook for this front post treble crochet. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that's a front post treble crochet. Now you're going to put a double crochet in the next stitch. So yarn over, put your double crochet in that next stitch. One thing that helps me when I'm figuring out where to go into that next one is since you put a double crochet in your first one and a front post treble around the next one, you're going to go into the third. So there's always going to be a stitch in between your 2 double crochets, right? Because that is your front post treble. So if you find yourself ever having 2 double crochets right in a row, that's too many and it's not going to lay out correctly at the end of the row. So place your double crochet there. Now you're going to put a front post treble crochet around the next double crochet, right? So wrap it twice. You're going to go into this double crochet right here around this post. Leave one open just like you did with the double crochets back here and go around the next one and place your front post treble crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we're going to place a double crochet in the next stitch. Make sure you leave this one open and go into the next stitch right here. And you're going to alternate this all across that row. So now we do a front post treble around this double crochet right here. Here's this one that we just did. Skip that one, go into this one. So you're just alternating stitches. Double crochet, front post treble. Double crochet and front post treble. double, and front post treble. When you get to the end of row 3, you should end with a double crochet in the last stitch. All right, so for row 3, we have started with a double crochet and ended with a double crochet. So you've got double, front post treble, double, front post treble, double, all the way to the end of the row. Now, your other rows, your even numbered rows, are always going to be a single crochet row. So chain 1 and turn and put 1 single crochet in each of these all the way to the end. When you get to the end, you're going to chain 2 and turn. And now we're ready to do another alpine row. So you are going to offset your front post trebles. So where you have, let's zoom in a little bit. So on here, where you have your front post treble crochets, you're always going to have a DC in between that. So there's your front post and a double crochet. Now on this row, you're going to flip it so that all of your double crochets go into the front post treble, and these double crochets from the last row are going to be front post trebled into those, so that it kind of gives it a raised relief type of look. So let's zoom back out. We've got our chain 2 already. So now I'm going to double crochet in these 2 stitches in the beginning, because we don't want a front post way off to the side because it'll leave kind of a hole here. We're going to put a double crochet in the first 2 stitches. So now we are ready to start with the front post treble crochet. So this double crochet that we just did lines up really nicely with this front post treble crochet. So that double is always going to go into a front post treble. Your front post treble that we're about to do will always go around the double crochet. So you're alternating which goes with which. So we wrapped it twice, inserted into or around the post of that double crochet, and you're going to complete your front post treble. Now we're going to double crochet in the top of that treble crochet, or right above it. Now we're going to treble crochet around this double crochet, and you're going to continue this all the way to the end of the row. When you get to the end, you're going to end with 2 double crochets in the last 2 stitches, 1 in each stitch, because you don't want to have these huge gaping front post treble crochets on the corners, because you will notice a big gap there if you do that. So that is how we offset our 2 repeating rows of the Alpine stitch. So now that we've made it across the whole entire way, now we're going to single crochet our way back so that we can start the next row. So chain 1 and turn, single crochet all the way back. Okay, so now that we're to the end, all we're going to be doing for the rest of the Alpine stitch is we're just going to alternate those 2 rows that we just did, so that they're always staggering on top of each other every time as you make a new row. So now we're ready for an Alpine row, so I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to double crochet in that first stitch, just 1 double crochet for this row. Now we're going to wrap it twice so that we can treble crochet, and we're going to go around this stitch right here. So this one, right? Put your front post treble crochet around that stitch. Now you're going to double crochet in the top of what looks like that next front post treble, right? So you're just alternating back and forth. Now front post treble around that next double crochet, and double crochet in the top of that next stitch. Wrap it twice, treble crochet, double front post treble crochet around this one. That's so hard for me to say over and over. And now double crochet in the top of that front post. And just continue all the way to the end of the row. You're going to end with a double crochet. And at the end of this row, you're going to end with a double crochet in that last stitch. Now, to start the next row, you're going to have to crochet single crochets so that we can start the next row. To start that next row, chain 2, and now this is the row where we put 2 double crochets in the first 2. So 1 here and 1 here. Now you're going to start your front post treble crochet, and you're going to go around this double crochet from the previous row. Right in that post, we're going to do a front post treble right there and double crochet in the next. And this is all there is to the Alpine stitch. Some patterns or some designers will have you use a front post double crochet instead of a treble. I just like the way that this looks because to me, if you use the double front post double crochet, it makes it too short and it kind of pulls and it makes the whole piece kind of curl in on each other. So I like to use the front post treble crochet, and you're just alternating which goes in which. I also find that it helps if you go up a little bit of a hook size if absolutely necessary, if it is curling. Otherwise, you can just continue crocheting in pieces like this. Let me show you my piece again that we started with. This is the work that is my favorite of the Alpine, because for the single crochet rows we used a solid alternating color, and then these are the actual double trebles that are front post trebles that go into these stitches here. So you can see this beautiful color variation. It just looks so nice and very pretty and gives it a great effect. So I hope that you love the Alpine stitch and that you will use it in a blanket or other project soon. It's just gorgeous and it gives great texture. So I hope you enjoy the Alpine stitch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.